In this very section, you're going to need two different things. That is going to be your GPT and Claude. So over here on the screen is actually GPT on the web, and I have Claude right in here. So I love using the desktop version. So if you feel like you want to use the web version, it's all a choice. So I'm using the desktop version, the pro version, but you don't need the pro version. For the sake of the people that wouldn't have money to pay for the pro version, so you can actually use the free version, and I'm not going to use co-work. Instead, I'm going to use chat so that we can both use chat together. So I'm going to actually open a new chat right in here. So before we actually come back to Claude, let us go to GPT and create a fresh data that we don't have before. Then that will definitely teach you how to actually, create dashboards or pre-create a dashboard before you actually create your main dashboard. Let me show you. So let us go to GPT here. So instead of me to actually type in my prompt, I am going to rather record it and it will be transcribed for me. That is all. So let me do that. Generate a simple data for me that is actually related to coffee store, and make sure the data is not 100% clean, and give me all the columns that needs to be clean, in the data in a different page. So this particular data should have 10,000 rows, and add all the relevant columns inside it. I don't want a flat table. I want to actually have trend in the analysis. So make sure every day transaction has different variation is very, very important. And let us mimic a data collected from the UK. So make sure this particular data is related to the kind of data generated from the UK. So for the location, I want to see real location. For the customers, I want to see real customer name. For the products, I want to see real products. So make sure this particular data mimic real life data. So go ahead and actually generate for me. This is what you can do to generate data in GPT. You can actually use the free version to actually get this done as well. So I have to run it. I have just run this particular prompt right now. So it is going to go ahead and actually generate our one table data for us. So once it is done, the next thing we have to do is to actually start analyzing this data using AI. So in either Excel and Power BI, I'm going to show you the both of them and see which one would then definitely, give you what you really want. As you can see, our data has been generated for us, and we asked for one single table, and GPT went and created multiple tables. So how do you download? You click over here to download. It depends on how it comes. Just make sure you have it downloaded. So we already have this particular data downloaded right now. Let us take a look at how it looks. So here comes our data with multiple tables: store, customer, staff, and this is cleaning guide. And here we have the cleaning mapping right in here. So now you can read through this to know what exactly to clean, but we don't have to do that because we are not going to use either Excel or Power BI, Tableau, Python to have this created ourselves. We want to give this particular work to AI to do for us for the first time. Maybe after all, we might actually check it out and see what we can do to make it better, right? But if you want to take action to clean this all by yourself right now, you have to look through this particular part and read every single column to understand what exactly you need to clean. Okay, now we have this data. We want to actually use Claude to create our HTML dashboard that will give us some kind of, how do I put this? Some kind of insight that we can look towards, I don't know how to put that, and be able to actually have inspiration to create the same exact thing inside either Excel, Power BI, Tableau, or any other tool, right? So how do we do that? It's very simple. Go back to GPT. And over here, we're going to give GPT another, we're going to record another prompt in GPT and allow GPT to actually transcribe that for us. Now that you have actually generated this particular data, I want you to actually write me a Claude prompt that will be able to actually make Claude actually, join the tables together and create an HTML dashboard for me. All I need is just to draw inspiration from what Claude is going to actually generate for me. So please try as much as you could to be very explicit. Tell Claude the design style, how many pages, what are the insights that should be added in those pages, the KPI, and the charts. So make chart choices for Claude and give it how to actually format those particular charts. So for every single KPIs, I want it to be very beautiful and actually tell the story of the business so that the business owner would not actually make decision based on guesswork. We want to actually use this particular data to make decision. So make sure there is a page that actually has to do with insight. It's very important. So go ahead and actually write the whole prompt for me that I can actually use in Claude to generate my dashboard. So now I am trying to transcribe what I have just recorded right now. And once I have done that, we are going to look at how to use Claude to actually get this done. So here we go, we have it transcribed. I'm going to run this particular prompt. Then GPT is going to create my Claude prompt for me, right? Then we copy, paste into Claude and give Claude access to the data. That is exactly what it is. So even if you don't have the premium version, you're going to actually use the free version to get it done too. Now our prompt is ready. Let us work on it. So click over here to copy. So once you have copied this right now, let us go to Claude. So here comes Claude. So our Claude is here. We are using Claude Chat, not Co-work, because I don't want you that doesn't have the pro version to fall behind. We can both use Chat, even if you're using free version. So I'm using Chat here. Then first of all, I'm going to go ahead and grab my data. Click over File and for Photo. So you have to locate where you have your data right in. So it's on download. So here comes my data here. So once I've gotten my data in here right now, the next thing I have to do is to paste in the prompt I have copied from GPT. So here we go. So just hit the enter key and run this. It's going to take a little while to actually have this completed. Just give it some time. So if you look at it, it has been completed, and over here we can actually, interact with our dashboard. This is not the best place to interact with it, but how do we do that? It's very simple. So when you click over here, you can actually have it open on your browser. So if you come over here where it says copy, you can actually download the HTML, code. Then you can actually publish it as well, but we're not going to that. Let us actually have it opened here inside our browser and take a look at what inspiration you can actually draw from it. Now, as you can see, this is a coffee kind of data, and it has actually used coffee color to actually make our dashboard for us. That is the first inspiration. So look at the KPIs, well arranged. Now we are on the first page where it is actually called Executive Overview. So if we scroll down right now, you can see here, nice chart. This is GPT recommendation, and Claude has actually taken that into working, and it has given us something good. Then we go into the performance, product performance here, and you can see here, best-selling product is chicken, whatever it is. Can you see? Can you see? Can you see that now? Beautiful. So we scroll down, we see some other charts here. This is highly, highly inspirational. This is what I'm talking about. So we go into store location. Then we have the top location, the best store, and all of that. We scroll all the way down. You can see some charts right in here. Do you see this right now? So we go to customer analysis. We have the same exact thing here. We'll actually make sure we actually scroll down. We see all of this. All of this here has some kind of the inspiration you need to build your next project. If you want to work on this data inside Excel, inside Power BI, this is the best way to go by it. And lastly, we have insight and quality. So we can actually scroll down and take a look at it. Can you see now? So now let's go back to this particular page and select a particular channel here. Our dashboard gets updated. Select a particular segment. Can you see that now? Go to earliest. Can you see? Then you reset and everything works perfectly. So now, if you're a Power BI user and you already have Power BI connected to Claude, so what do? You load this into Power BI and you actually ask Claude to actually, start creating all those measures needed to actually have this done for you. But let me tell you, that is not the best practice. Yes, get me right. That is never the best practice. So you have to actually look at this and be able to actually come up with how to create a measure to calculate your total revenue. It's very simple. If you have, maybe quantity and the price, you can actually multiply it together using the sum x if they're living in different tables, sum x and related table, related function. And if they are inside one single column, if you have your revenue already inside one single column, use the sum function. If you know about this, it's very okay. Now you calculate the month-over-month change all by yourself, specifically if you are a learner. But if you have mastered the act of doing all of this all by yourself before now, the next thing you have to do right now is to be able to actually ask Claude to write all the measures for you and add comments to every single measure to teach you how those measures, are being created. Specifically, how those particular functions are being put together to actually give you what it is that you want. Then you can go back to your DAX measures and read through it and learn how things got to work together. That is under best practice. So right now, should we try that? Let's try it. So we already have this. It is time to load our data into Power BI first. Then you can see how we can, prompt, Claude to actually start writing all those DAX that we can actually use to create all of this for us. Are you ready for the next one? Let's do it. Now I have opened a brand new PBIX. I have to load the data that we have used inside Claude, which is the data generated by GPT. So let's go over to here. We go with the product, we go with the staff, we go with the star table, we go with the raw data, that is the transaction raw data. So those are the tables we want to actually import in. So once we have done that right now, we are good to go. We can actually go ahead and actually import this into Power BI. So let's go ahead and actually transform this first. So which means we're actually going into Power Query for the first time to check if we still have some other things to actually fix, right? So look at it here, the transaction, we go through here, we go through here. So I wouldn't do too much cleaning on my own. What I'm just going to show you right now is that I want to show you how to use Claude to write all the measures needed, specifically by citing what Claude has actually generated for us previously before now. So if you look at this particular part right now, it's giving us an error. Let us look at what it is. So what is going on here? We can't tell. So the best way to find out is to right click and you go to this particular, I think, where should it be? We should be looking for keep rows. Then we choose keep errors. So by clicking on keep errors here, we click over here now. We can find out what the error is. This is the error right in here. So this particular part here now needs to be fixed. So what can we do? So now we are actually using AI. Why should we have to disturb our brain? Let us ask AI to do something for us right here. For the first time, we have to import this data into Power BI environment by saving it. So I'm going to click on Ctrl S to save this. I'm going to save it to this particular part here. So I've just called it Coffee AI Built Dashboard. So which means now we can actually take this to Power BI and ask Claude to find out if there is any error and if Claude can actually fix it for us. So we want to test the capability of Claude to actually handle some cases inside our model. Let's try it. So we actually filtered the keep error. We have to remove it now. So now we have to go ahead and actually, close this. Just close. So now we could not save this because of the errors we have, but still, let us actually try to ask Claude if it could actually find any issue with this. So we're just going to come over here. So I'm going to close this for now, so we can actually focus on this. So can you look at it? It says good. This is the same UK coffee store data now loaded into Power BI. Let me check the relationship columns and any measure. So we don't have any measure for now. So this particular Claude is very smart to know that the same data we have used to generate HTML dashboard is the one we loaded into Power BI. So let us go through what it's saying right now. If you look at it, Claude has found out that something was wrong. Look at here. I have got the complete picture of the model. Now, let me run one more check to characterize that fact table because something looked off. That was because something is wrong with our main table, that particular date column, and maybe some other columns if need be. All right, if you look at it, Claude has actually gone through the whole data set line by line. And over here, as you can see, it has given us some, relationship stuff. And if we go down now, it says what I would fix in order. So it's fixing the data loaded first. So detect the customer and this and that. So you have to read through this if you have the same issue like this one here. So the next thing I have to do right now, if you look at it, I have hit limit. I have just 90%, for my credit. So what I just want to do right now is just to say, can you see that now? So can you clean the data set, inspect every tables and transform the data, check the relationships, and as well create a date or calendar table for me. This is something very important. So which means right now we have given Claude access to go and 100% transform and clean the data and as well add a particular table called a calendar table for us, right? So even though if we're about to hit limits here, we can still run it. If it stopped, wait for some few hours, and once we have a new limit, we continue again. So let's do it. This is what you need to do if you want to actually analyze data with AI. You have to first of all know how to actually analyze data without AI before you can actually use AI to fasten the whole processes for you. So if all you do is to actually leave the whole work to AI, you might be doing some guesswork and all your figures would be wrong. So to have correct figures, you must have that particular knowledge about the tools you're actually using like Power BI, Tableau, Python, R, Excel, Looker Studio, any tools at all you want to use for your analysis, make sure you know how to use the tools on your own. Okay, let's just wait to see what Claude will do. So we have to grant it access, allow. So this is 12:36 p.m. right in here. So Claude is asking us to wait until 1:20 p.m. before the new credit resets. So we're gonna wait for a while. So I'm using a paid version. That is why I could actually work this long. So if you're using free version, you might have, you might not have much credit just like myself. So maybe you have to pay for premium some days. I don't know. If you don't have money, don't worry. Always exhaust your credit and wait until it resets again. If you look at it right now, it has been reset. So we were to wait for 120 the other time. So this is 128 and the message has cleared, which means we can actually start right now. So I'm going to say connect again and so if you look at Claude, Claude is actually in Power Query. It says architecting M code like query transformation for comprehensive data cleaning. So which means Claude can actually transform your data for you in Power Query. But this is what Claude cannot do in Excel. So I'm going to show you how to use Excel to get this done. So you have to watch that particular video as well. It's very important. But Claude in Excel cannot actually use Excel Power Query, but it could give you some guidelines on write some M code for you to have it done, but it cannot work directly inside the Power Query in Excel. But here it can. So it's going through it to actually fix everything for us. This is how beautiful AI can actually speed up things for you. If you look at it right now, so it says two things left for you. Quick. and best done in desktop, which means this particular part, Claude cannot handle it. This is why I always say, know your tools. It's very important because sometimes Claude will tell you, I can't do this. So you have to do it all by yourself. So if you don't know your tools, even if Claude gives you direction to get it done, you can't get it done, right? So let me show you how to do it. It says turn off auto dates and time. So it's giving you an option. It says options, data load, uncheck auto date and time. Let me quickly show you how to get that done. So come over to here, then come to these options and settings, then go to options. So go to data load, then we have to go over here. Can you see this particular part here? So just click on it and click on OK. That is all you have to do. So this has to come from you. So now let us look at what Claude has done. Claude has actually added a date table for us. Then go to relationship. Claude has corrected all the relationships right in here for us. I believe if you do the same thing I have done right here, you are going to get the same exact result. Then let us look at our table here. So if you look at this particular table here now, this is what Claude has written for us. I can do this all by myself, even more extensively than this, but why should I do it when Claude can actually help me to do it? So over here now, I can actually try to look at what Claude has done and even try to make some changes. Can we make changes? Let's try it. So over here, Claude is using variable to actually return the max and the mean for me. And I want to see why Claude is doing this. It might have a reason. So quickly we go through our transaction table here. So we have time. Yes, of course. Then we have this transaction date. This is the reason why Claude is using that. So let's see the reason why. Again, if we have any other date, no date from here, no date from here, no date from here. But this one shows that Claude is very smart. Let me show you something. First of all, we'll go to this particular part here. And if you look at it right now, our data starts in 2024 and it ends in 2025. Now, Claude is able to actually map out the max date and the min date. So I'm going to actually affect it with calendar auto right now. Watch it. So I'm going to actually get this one down to here, Control / I have commented it out. So I'm going to actually bring this one down over here. So this should be part of the comment. Commented out. So over here, I'm going to actually use calendar auto. It's a function. So my calendar auto has a bracket that was open. So we have to go ahead and close it here. So we have to disable this particular part here. Can you see it now? I am able to find where I should fix because I understand how to create this particular DAX function. If you don't know, it will be very hard for you to actually edit it. So I'm going to actually comment it out as well. So once commented out, calendar auto, add columns, here. So what is next? So, oh, sorry, we don't have to close calendar auto here. You can see what I'm talking about. Then we'll come over here, we close, Ctrl Z, we close this, and we'll put a comma on it. So if you look at it right now, we have an error somewhere. So this particular add columns here, copy it, and we'll move it to the top. Now, the error is gone. We have fixed this. I'm going to hit my enter key right now. Let us watch what's going to happen. So, can you see what the reason why Claude is very smart enough to know that we should use variable to control the max and the min? Let us come over here right now. I'm going to actually minimize this. So we come over here, we have long list of dates. So now, can somebody come up with the reason why we have something like this? What is the reason? The reason is simply because if we go over to transaction data here, we have time. So whenever we have time column in either of the tables, so our DAX code now will start locating min and max value, and automatically it will generate random years for us. So that was why we have this particular random years right in here instead of 2024 and 2025 data that we have. You can see it starts from 1899 down to 2025. Can you see it now? So now, why am I doing this? I mean, why am I showing you this? I'm showing you this because I want you to manually learn how to write your DAX, how to work with Excel, Power BI, Tableau, Python on your own before you use AI to actually get things done. So that when AI make any mistakes, you know how to fix it. Now we have to fix it back to what Claude has given us. It's very important. So how do we do that? Over here, we have to uncomment this one, uncomment it. So over here, we have to remove this particular one, removed. So over here, we have to remove the comment. So if I hit my enter key, watch this particular part now. So fixed again. So what have we done? We were able to actually look at what Claude has done, and we found out that this is the reason why Claude did this. Can you see that now? So the next thing we have to do is to actually say apply changes here. It's very important. So the changes has been applied. Everything flagged will be, so we have 36 errors. So let us view the errors. So now we are going to tell Claude that we have these particular errors in our transactional table. So how do we do that? It's very simple. We just do Windows Shift and S. This Windows Shift and S helps you to take a screenshot of your table. So take a screenshot like this. Make sure it includes the error. Then let's go back to Claude. So give it to Claude and say, this is the error I have now. Fix it. So Claude will go through it and actually have it fixed for us. Let us wait for it to actually go through it. As you can see, Claude has actually deleted some of those particular errors folders here, and we have some issues still. Let me show you that. If you still look at this particular part right now, we still have some errors here. Let's see what Claude is actually talking about it. Let me scroll up. So over here, Claude has actually went into it and actually counted 52 values genuinely can be turned into a real date. So let's see the reason why that happened. So the first reason is actually this particular one. Month 13 doesn't exist. It counted 15. So February has no 30th. Can you see that now? February has no 30th, which means this particular date was wrongly entered into the system. We can't actually do anything about it. Then we have not a date. Can you see now? So we now have missing in source 15. So it's giving us the count of how many rows has to do with this particular error and how many rows has to do with empty and not a date. So let us find out ourselves if this is true. So we go to Power Query now. Here comes our Power Query environment. Once we get into Power Query, you just click over here and go over to this particular part, then use the keep rows. So what we're doing now is not fixing, it's actually trying to find out if what Claude said is actually 100% true. So if I click on this particular part, don't click on the surface of the error, click outside it. So can you see that particular error that it showed? So can you see now? So not a date is here as well. So do you now believe what Claude has said right now? Claude is very smart. Let us take off the keep errors. So once we have done this now, we go back to Claude again, and we try to look at what Claude said is going to be the solution. We scroll down. So over here, Claude says the error is not in your data. It is coming from the query you have open, which still has the particular one. Okay, so now how do we treat it? To make the transaction date column bulletproof in the query itself, so in applied step, delete any kept errors, which we have just removed from the applied step here. So to actually make sure we have all the rows. Once you have done that, right click the transaction date, column headers, and replace error with null, like this particular null right in here. So that will definitely make that particular, those particular, rows to be blank. You understand? So let us read further. That is the column specific fix. It turns those 52 impossible dates into blank at the query level, matching what is already in your model. So try to actually, if you have the same thing, read through it, understand it. So this will as well help you, even though when you are not using, AI like Claude, you get the understanding of what to do to actually have your data transformed and clean. So getting back right in here right now, what do? We right click over here and we go to replace, errors. So to replace these particular errors right now, so we just use removed errors, sorry. We have to replace, right click again and just go to where it says replace errors. So over here it's asking us, how do we want to replace it? Let us click on OK. So it's not allowing us to actually replace it with nothing. If this were text-based, you can just say you want to replace with nothing. And nothing simply means this, blank. But over here now, because it's actually date, we are going to use null. Then we click on OK. So let's see. Can you see it now? It's free. Is it free? Let's find out. So if just click on it, do we have any errors again? None. So the errors are gone. So what we have now, if you pay attention now, you see this particular little black here. That simply means something is still wrong a little bit. And what is it? Empty. So we have 5%, I think, like 1% of our data to be empty. So that is the null we just added. You see it now? So your data is actually 100% clean if you're already in this particular step, right? So what is next? It is the high time we actually take this data to, our Power BI environment. So let me quickly show you a way to actually change your data type quickly. So to get that done, click on any of the column. So I'm going to go over here now and turn off this particular one. Right. So that's when I click over here, I wouldn't see that particular part of it. So now you do Control A. Once you do Control A, you go to Transform Data. You click on Detect Data Type and just click on it. That will fix every single data types for you. Although there are some complex ones that might not be fixed. So for that, you need to know how to do it manually all by yourself. It's very important. So if you want something speedy, this one will save you. But if you want to actually do thorough, work, maybe when you have complex data, you have to actually look into the data types and actually fix it all by yourself. So right now, we have just done this particular, Control A and click on the detect data type here, and that will fix any data type that is not here on the right, data types. So we go through it and we are good to go. So we can just go ahead and click on Home now and close and apply. If you look at it right now, we have a fresh, error. This particular error should have been noticed by Claude just because AI is not actually 100%, and that is why human judgment is still very, very crucial. So right now, what is this error all about? We can't tell. Let us find out. Click on View Errors here. Let me tell you before we even get to Power Query, this error happened because we actually changed our data types. Get it right now? That time we clicked on the tables that we actually did Control A to highlight all the columns. We went to this particular transform and we actually click on detect, data types. That was when it happened. So if I click over here right now, I can see the error by scrolling through here. Let's see. Can we see any errors? Now we have some couple of errors right in here. But when we click over to this particular transaction, we don't see any of the errors. Can you see them now? Okay, I think we still have this one showing the error, but some are not showing it. Let's find out over here what could be the possible, reason of the error. We have to note that and fix it ourselves, or we actually ask Claude to do it. So if we actually click on this particular part, don't click on the surface of the error, click outside it. And let us take a look at what the error message reads. So the error message reads this. Okay. NA. And the NA here. So over here, we have this. So can you see? Do you see what I'm seeing now? This particular part of the quantity is showing 2, right? Which means the errors here are showing 2. So 2 simply means the person entered text instead of number. We have to find out something. I'm going to actually highlight this particular column here. Then go over to home. From home, we go to keep errors. And we keep the errors. So we are trying to find out what is the majority of the errors that we have right in here. So it's 2. Over here is 2. We can keep on going. Then this is not what is beyond us that we have to start asking Claude to do for us. So it's very few and we can tell. So if this runs into some rows or some numbers of rows that we can't find out how many of them contain 2, 3, 4, 5 or any other thing, then we might be asking Claude to actually scan through it and tell us how to fix it. But right now it's very easy for it to be fixed all by ourselves. So what do? Come over here. And how do you replace this? Just right click over here and go to where it says replace errors. Once you have gotten to replace errors, all you have to do is to put 2 over here and you go over here and click on OK. So that will definitely fix this particular part of the error for us. Can you see it now? Now, time to actually fix this particular one. What do we do right in here? We just go over to this particular keep rows and we keep the errors. Let us find out how many of this particular part here has to do with the same issue. Can you see it now? Can you see it? Can you see it? So over here, this is showing as a text, right? It's showing as a text. So what do? We have to replace this particular with actual value without the currency sign or symbol, whatever it is. So just go ahead and take off this particular part and come over here again, right click again and go ahead and say replace errors. So what do? You paste in the actual value. This now has to do with actual number, right? Actual number, not a text. Then when we click on OK here, what do we see? We should actually have it fixed. Can you see it now? Then this one is 100% okay. Now let's talk about this particular part right in here. How do we fix this? Maybe by now you should have known how to fix it all by yourself. So we just have to make sure we highlight the column. We go over to this particular rows and we keep errors. Once we are here, we have to verify if majority of them or even though if all of them are some kind of, null. So they are all null. They are all nulls. So this calls for much more attention than the previous one, right? Sales amount, but not a big attention. If this particular project was given to me by a client or a boss, I don't have to panic. I don't even have to raise a call, right? The reason for that is that I'm going to actually even remove this particular sales amount right in here. You get it? So let's see. If I take off this particular part right now, I want to explain to you the reason why I'm going to remove this particular sales amount. The sales amount simply means the multiplication of our actual quantity by the price of the product. That gives us the sales. So what is the essence of we keeping it? No, we don't have to. So we can just truncate the whole thing and use DAX to calculate it all by ourselves. Are you ready? Let's do it. Click over here and it's gone. So this time around, we have gotten all the errors, fixed. So we can scan through to see if we still have any columns with errors, which I believe we don't actually have this particular time around. Everything looks perfectly okay. Okay, so this is the reason why I don't love using, the text data type to fix my data types. Over here is giving me 1.2, which is decimal number, and this is a whole number. What can you do? You have to manually change it. And that was why I said you need to know these particular data types all by yourself. See this particular file here? It controls the whole of this. So if you delete this one, you affect this particular one. Just leave it the way it is. So let us go ahead and close and apply right now and see what exactly it is. So it's trying to go through it. This time around, let's see, 100%. Everything is actually okay. So what you can do next again is to go back to Claude and actually ask Claude and say, okay, you know what? So over here, just type in this message. Go ahead and check my current data status. Hope no any errors that will affect my analysis. That's the smart way, right? Before now, you have to use your brain to actually scan through all your data, your model, your relationship, every single thing. But right now, you have Claude in Power BI to actually assist you to do all of that. So the only thing that Claude cannot do right now is to actually single-handedly get things done for you. You still have to man it. And you have to know the elementary and to intermediate before you can even use it. You understand? You can't just come from, no tech skill, or even though if you have a tech skill, knowing how to analyze data all by yourself will save you a lot of work. You understand? So even though if AI is going to actually assist you. So we are looking at this now. So if you look at it, this is a smart way. Can you see it now? Cost is fine, but sales amount is gone. Yes. So that was exactly what I'm talking about. We actually take something off, and Claude is able to tell that this was there before. So what happened? So let it check for the matching ID as stated right in here. Okay. Some issues we found. Sales amount missing. Yes, we know that. So duplicate rows, 5 duplicate still present. So it has to be removed. You get it right now. So here sales, channel spelling. So product ID not matching. Can you see that now? This is something that would have taken you time. Maybe sometime it will be after you might have done with your analysis, you'll now find out that your visuals are messing up. You understand? So that is it. So let's quickly go ahead and take a look at what, our Claude wants to do. So as you can see, Claude has actually fixed everything for us, and you can actually go through all of this right now and take a look at what Claude has done. So over here, it says close and apply and Control S to save. You understand? So that is it. And if we scroll all the way down, Claude gave us this particular, Excel workbook here. I don't know what Claude wants us to do with it. So once more head up, this clean file has the 5 data table only, so not the original guide. So let us ask a question here. Do you want So we are asking, does it want us to download the file, generated for us as cleaned and use it instead of the previous one we have used? That is the question right now. Let us try to understand if that is what, Claude wants. That is what exactly, Claude wanted us to do. But this is not actually recommended for a company data, except if your company is a very small company. So for a big company data, I don't think Claude is in the best position to do this for you, so be careful. But we just want to try the capability of Claude. Let us look at what Claude has done for us right now. So for the first time, I'm going to actually go ahead and get this file created, which is this particular one here, downloaded. So if you look at it right now, I just have it open here, and it contained all my tables, right? Going to transaction now, it has actually, given us back the sales amount here, and it's clean now. So everything here, 100%. Okay, you get it right now. So it's now your choice to say, okay, I want to use this or I don't want to use it. You understand? So we have to download it. Click over here to download to your PC. So, okay, I think we already have it. That time we clicked on it, it has been downloaded to our PC. So we're gonna take it off. So let's get off this one here. So we have two different files here. So what do I do instead? Let me quickly go over to Power BI and I'm going to leave this one here. Have it saved. Make sure it's saved. Then I'm going to Control N to create a different file that we're going to actually, upload that one into to see exactly what it is. Now it is time to pick up the file. Let's go get it. Click over here. So we're going to choose this particular clean one. Open. So we have to choose the files here. I think there are 5 in number. So it starts from here, 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 here. So we go ahead and click on transform. So we have to first of all go into Power Query to see the files and check their data types and load it back to Power BI. So let's see, do we have any error here? Not at all, but we can't really be sure because the data type here now is not cool. So this one is not showing as date. So I'm going to Control A to do it all at once by going over here, then click over here. After you have done with this, you have to verify it all by yourself. So clicking on this seems not to fix this one, which means we have to manually do it. That was why I said you need to know your data type very well. So we just have to apply either replace or add a new step. Yeah, we're gonna add a new step now. So it doesn't show any error. So we go through this particular part here to check if we have any errors. None. So can you see the capacity? Should we call it capacity or capability? Okay, I think it's capability of Claude. Yeah. So try to check other columns, other tables and their columns to see if there is any issue. So we are going to go ahead and close this right now, which is we have to apply this to Power BI environment from Power Query to Power BI and save it. So I want us to have 2 different files open. Then we name it and we tell Claude to actually check one and see if Claude can actually, look at different files and pick one from it, which is different PBIX file and work on one without interfering on the other one. So we're going to try that right now. So now we have to save this. I'm going to save this to the same place. Let's find out. So over here, I'm going to just call this one dashboard with clean data. So that is it. Save it. So once we have saved it right now, we have to go back to Claude. Now we have a new PBRX file called, and that is where I have uploaded or used So let's see. You see that now? So we're trying to check and Claude is going to ignore the previous file and start going through this particular dashboard with clean data to evaluate what we have right in there and see if there is any error. You see that now? So that is what you can do. Just give it some time. So if you look at what Claude said here, it says 2 files are open. Let me connect to the new dashboard with clean data file. Can you see it right now? Even if we have hundreds of PBIX opened and we point Claude to one of them, Claude will actually work on it. So if we go down now, we can see over here, read through all of this. So what is wrong? Header does not import on 3 tables. So now we have to fix something right here. So which means we have to actually promote the header. That is what we have not checked. Let's find out if Claude is right. So just click over the 3 dots here and let us go ahead and edit query. So now we are here. If you look at this one now, can you see? Claude is smart. So click over here to change it. Just go ahead and say use first row as headers. So this is when you know your work. You don't even have to ask Claude for everything. Even though when Claude says, oh, this is wrong, you can quickly tell what it is. So if you want to do it again, you can be on home and you come over to this particular part and the same thing will happen. So you don't have to ask Claude to do everything. So you can actually get it done by yourself. All you need to do is to make sure Claude identify if there is any issue with any of your tables, your columns, your rows, and that can actually affect calculations. And that is exactly what it is. So we have actually used Claude to actually find issues right now. And Claude has done that. All we have to do right now is to close and apply. So as we are applying, let's go quickly over to Claude again and read through other things that Claude specified. So let's go. So this is the same thing we have just done. We never read through this, but we did it. You understand? Just because we know what we are doing. And we have closed and applied to make sure we apply it to actually get the action ready over here. So now I'm going to say final check. So Claude is going to go through our table again to check if there is any issue to fix. This is just to open your eyes to what Claude can do. And you have to know that Claude is not 100%. So human judgment is always one of the key, which means you have to add your own initiative, come up with your own ways of getting things done. The old way is always important. What is the old way? The old way is when you work without AI, right? So bring it in. So now Claude is going to check relationship to see if, it is some kind of created or connected nicely, because automatically Power BI connects your, tables for you automatically, but Claude has to verify if that is actually cool. So now over here, we would not have any date table. We have to ask Claude to do that for us. Oh, I was even trying to say Claude should build me a date table. I never knew that Claude has already added that particular date table for us automatically without knowing. So this is what is called memory. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So Claude kept memory of what happened previously. This chart had been coming for a long time now. You understand? From the beginning down till now, which means Claude remembered every single thing we have done in the previous file we used, and Claude has transferred the same exact thing into this particular one. You see that now? That is beautiful. So let us wait for Claude to finish what it's doing. We have to just clear this. We don't have to type any message, to Claude again, except something else. But right now, Claude is fixing every single thing. Now let us verify what Claude has done. So you can see the check mark. So now we are free from data cleaning. All we have to do is to come over here right now and Control S to save our work, or you can click on File over here and click on Save to have your work saved. So let us go ahead and take a look at something. If we go over here now, this is exactly what we are trying to build with the same data we have just worked on right now. If you watch from the beginning of this particular class, this is exactly where we started from. But we don't want to actually build this by building it the other way around, like the old ways, right? We just have to make sure we ask AI to get this done for us. But the thing is this, AI cannot build this like this inside Power BI. So which means we have a lot of work to do. So what are we going to do? We have to actually point Claude back to this one again, or ask Claude to do you still remember this file? So what is the file name? I want to go over to where I have it written. So I'm going to copy the file name here. Then once copied, I want to go to Claude and ask Claude, do you still use HTML file and so we are asking if Claude still remember this and if it still have access to it. Let's see the response. Can you see it now? Yes, of course. Claude has checked and it says yes with 6 different, you know, dashboard or whatsoever. So what are we going to do with this right now? So now that we have found out that Claude has access to it, so let's go back to the same dashboard again. Over here, it has 6 different pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 of the pages are where our dashboard is, and the 6th one has to do with insight and quality. You understand? So if I scroll the way down right now, you can see here, data, that is the data is dashboard ready. So it's actually giving you the quality, the columns in every single table and all of that. So, and the top part is your recommendations, your business insight. So we're going to actually ask Claude to build every single measures we can actually use to build the executive view, which means this particular one right in here. You understand? And not just that, let me show you what I'm talking about. Over here, I'm going to go to notes. From notes now here, I'm going to say, this is a very short prompt. I just said, create a table called DAX House. If you have been watching my videos before now, even before I start using AI to get dashboard created, I always organize my DAX in a particular table and create all the DAX I need to build the executive overview page. You understand? Let's see what this AI will do. So we come over here right now and we go ahead and actually run this particular code. You understand? So let us run this prompt rather, not code, run the prompt. So as we are running the prompt, I would like to keep my Power BI open. This is the new one here. I want to see when it inserted the table for us. So right now, currently we have 6 different tables, right? Let's see what other tables, Power BI will add. Can you see what I'm talking about? Over here now we have DAX House without we manually inserting it or creating it all by ourselves. And if we have it opened right now, we just have it to be blank. Nothing is inside it. So let us keep eye on our Claude to see what maybe it requires from us. So right now, Claude is going to go into it step by step and start creating the measures that we need to actually have it built. So can you see now? So we have some measures split. Is it split? Not split. So we have some measures peeled, inside our DAX house. Can you see? Those are all the measures you need to actually have it built. Let's go down and see if that is completed. So still working on it. Now, as you can see, everything has been created for us 100% without we raising a single finger to have either of those particular measures actually created. And over here, you still have some of the measures right in here. Let us go ahead and actually verify the measures. So can you see it? Can you see it now? So this one is giving us an error. So what the heck is going on here? So customer rating, average customer rating. Let's find out. So parameter not the correct type, cannot find name, customer rating. So now this is where you have to come in. So what I'm going to do right now is to remove this and keep removing it and Try to check manually. Can you see? We have it right now. So what if you don't have any knowledge about Power BI or DAX itself? You can't fix it. Sometimes it might be issue of spacing, you understand, or a spelling that will just happen. So we go to this one here, check this one, check this one, check this, check this, check this. So here we go, here we go, here we go. So everything looks okay. So if you look at this, those are basic measures, not something complex. You understand? Not something complex, very basic. And these measures will actually help us to build this particular dashboard you are seeing right in here right now. But for today, I am going to be drawing this particular curtain here. You understand? So we're going to draw this particular curtain here. So if you want me to continue to give you more, like the design aspect, to make sure we design this and make it look better, to have every single thing we have right in here, even make it much more better than this, just let me know in the comments.